Thank you so much for joining us today on Coffee With. My guest today is Kathryn Resio. Kathryn, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming. I know y'all have a busy week ahead as you prepare for the Miss Mississippi Pageant, and I know you have a lot of responsibilities. You're one of the producers of the pageant.
That's correct.
And tell me what that involves.
First, it would start with helping come up with the show, getting your choreographer and all your different production people together. They create the show, come up with all the music and that type of thing. Then you bring in all of your entertainers and performers, and you get all those and the contracts out to them. And then you have to set up your TV truck, you have to set up all your cameramen, you have to set up everyone that's going to work backstage, and we actually have to set up the stage from the ground, from the floor up.
Wow. So you have a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
So are you the person sitting in the truck going camera 2, camera 3?
No, we actually have a television producer that does that.
Okay.
I would love to get to the point where I know how to do that. Pat Hobson was the producer for many, many, many years. And yes, she did sit in the truck and say that.
How did you get involved in doing this? Do you do this professionally aside from Miss Mississippi?
No. Years ago, I did theater. I've done theater since I was 5 years old. And I've produced plays, I have directed plays, I've done the lighting for plays, being a stage manager, all the different forms of a production I have done. Also, I started working with the Miss Mississippi Pageant in 1974. And when I started, that's before cordless microphones, and so you would have to get the microphone cord and wrap it up as they walked so they didn't get tangled up and that type of thing. I helped paint sets. I helped William Matthews paint 4 Miss Americas that were 14 feet tall and 8 feet wide.
Oh my goodness.
So that was many, many years ago. But then I left the pageant for many years and came back around 2000. And I had a dream that I could always be the producer. And so this year my dream has finally come true.
So is this your first year to be one of the producers?
Yes, I have been the associate producer of the teen pageant. And I'm also the executive director of the Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen Pageant.
Okay.
But I have worked backstage for approximately the last 10 or 11 years.
So what's the draw? What keeps you involved in something like this?
Part of it is the thrill of the show. You automatically, it's sort of like when you work in a hospital and you're a doctor and you can fix a patient. When you produce a show and you have a great show, it's a thrill at the end of the night knowing that you did it and you did everything right. It's bringing all the people together. You have 46 girls, you may have a dozen performers, you have all the backstage people, you have all your television people, so you're involving hundreds of people putting this production on and coordinating everyone, because we don't only have 45 contestants and Sarah Beth, Miss Mississippi, you have 46 princesses also. So just with that, you have 100 people. So in the finale on stage, you have about 120 people on the stage during the finale.
Yes.
So to coordinate something that large and to know that it will be able to be seen statewide on television, and in the ratings for last year, we were #1 in the Nielsen ratings for the whole month of July.
Really?
And so there are a lot of people in Mississippi that watch the Miss Mississippi Pageant.
Yes, there are.
And it will be broadcast statewide on 8 different television channels and in Memphis on Comcast.
Well, I can see why that would be quite a thrill for you.
But you also get the type of thrill. I have done children's theater and produced plays with children in it. And it's also watching the growth of the people and the performers and the contestants during the week and seeing the contestants blossom just like you would a child blossom as they go through weeks of rehearsal doing a performance.
Well, I can tell it takes a tremendous amount of organizational skills on your part.
Well, that's the fun part.
That's probably the understatement, right?
Yes, but there's so much help. You don't ever do it by yourself. You always have a team of people that are working with you. And no, there's no way I could do it by myself. If there wasn't a team that worked together, then it would never happen.
Well, what do you do aside from Miss Mississippi?
I do merchandising design for 3 different stores in town. The Cinnamon Tree, Sassafras, and Zaza's. I also do design consulting on the side. And I travel with my husband He is a oceanographer meteorologist, and he travels all over the world. We were in India in February.
Wow.
So I have been, there are a few places that I have not been, but it has been wonderful that I'm able to.
So where are some of the places y'all been?
We've lived in Italy, in Torino. We've lived in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Does he work for the Corps?
He works for ERDIC, the Environmental Research and Development Center,
Right.
and technically he works for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, ERDIC, but he is a senior scientist, which his position is done through Congress. But he is retiring from that position July the 1st.
Oh,
and we
very
will be
soon.
relocating to Florida.
Oh, really? What part of Florida are y'all going to?
Ponte Vedra, which is south of Jacksonville.
And what made y'all decide on Ponte Vedra?
The University of North Florida.
Uh-huh.
My husband has created a new bridge that can be, if a bridge goes down, you can put this bridge out in minutes to be able to keep traffic going. He has also created something that can stop the flooding in levees. So if a levee breaches, you can helicopter this in, and within a few hours you can stop the breach. And so he is starting a PhD program at the University of North Florida in coastal disasters.
And he'll be teaching that program?
Yes.
So that's a big change. Have y'all ever lived in Florida?
Yes, we actually lived in Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, well, that's
before,
not too far.
About 18 years ago, yes.
Well, very exciting. When are y'all making that move?
8 days after the pageant.
Well, now that's going to be quite a long commute for you to come back and produce the pageant every year, right?
Well, I won't be doing it. I'll be giving that up and become an Indian if they need my help.
Yeah.
That
Well, I know they will miss
I
you.
made it to one of the chiefs, and therefore, if they need me, I'll come help as an Indian. But there's always someone that wants to step up and fill those shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be many people that will want to do this.
Now, what did I not ask you that you want to be sure and talk about?
If you live in town, you really ought to come and see the productions and get to know the contestants. A lot of people don't realize that it's not just beauty. It's a scholarship pageant, and we are giving away about $3 million in in-kind scholarships and other scholarships. Also, that each one of these contestants has a platform, and they do community service throughout this year for that platform, and the Children's Miracle Network is also a national platform for Miss America, and we all go out and raise funds for Miss America. And Blair Batson in Jackson is one of the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And so Miss Mississippi and Miss Mississippi's outstanding team go to Blair Batson Children's Hospital. There's also one in North Mississippi, but I'm not sure of the name. But we support, and all the money that we raise in our state comes back to our state. It doesn't go to any other state, in the same way with all the different states that participate in Miss America.
Well, we hope that people will come out for the pageant and support it. And, you know, Vicksburg loves Miss Mississippi Pageant.
Well,
David Blackledge was here earlier, and he told me 95% of the donations come from people in Vicksburg and in Warren County.
Yes.
And that's remarkable.
It is.
I mean, this is a statewide pageant.
And the people of Vicksburg welcome everyone with
We
open
sure
arms.
do. We love it.
But we also fill up all the hotel rooms,
That's
which
right.
is a very good thing for
That's
the
right.
economy.
And we sell gas and convenience store stuff and restaurants.
Right.
And
So I'm hoping that will also help the community.
Kevin, thank you so much for coming and having coffee with me today,
And thank you for having me.
appreciate you being here.
Promotional consideration provided by
Amber Sanders from Happy Hair. Get your hair happy at 3402 Wisconsin Avenue.